The most devastating, cold-blooded, and humiliating act of petty financial revenge in hip-hop history just went down live in front of over 500,000 witnesses. In an absolute catastrophe that has officially brought the Maybach music group empire to its knees, 50 Cent did not just fire another internet joke. He went live on a broadcast and finalized the corporate purchase of Rick Ross's world-famous $100 million Promised Land estate right off a government foreclosure auction block. Sitting with a bottle of champagne in one hand and county deed transfer receipts in the other, 50 Cent looked straight into the camera, laughing uncontrollably as he announced that Rick Ross is officially homeless, his luxury cars are locked behind new security gates, and the entire $100 million compound is being converted into a public Airbnb rental starting next week. The sheer humiliation sent shockwaves through the entire entertainment industry, pushing Rick Ross into an emergency late-night panic as MMG executives scramble to stop the eviction. Stay locked in until the absolute end of this video, because the leaked banking records, the live auction video clips, and the terrifying street response prove that this 15-year blood feud has just reached the point of no return. To fully comprehend the sheer magnitude of this catastrophic financial execution, you have to understand the bitter 15-year war between Curtis, 50 Cent, Jackson, and William Leonard Roberts II, famously known as Rick Ross. This is not just another standard internet beef. This is without question the most personal, vindictive, and venomous rivalry the rap industry has ever witnessed. It all began back in 2009, when a cold glance at an awards show spiraled into a multi-decade blood feud featuring diss tracks, physical altercations, lawsuits, and non-stop public mockery. For over a decade and a half, 50 Cent made it his personal life mission to systematically dismantle Rick Ross's credibility, constantly mocking his past, his music, and his lavish big boss persona. For years, Rick Ross protected himself behind the impenetrable armor of extreme, untouchable wealth. His crown jewel was the Promised Land, a staggering 109-room megamansion located in Fayetteville, Georgia, spanning over 235 sprawling acres. Ross bragged about this estate relentlessly. He filmed major music videos on the grounds, held massive annual car and bike shows featuring tens of thousands of paying fans, and used the property as living proof that he was the ultimate king of luxury rap. To the public eye, Ross was an untouchable mogul who owned the largest private residential palace in the entire state of Georgia. However, behind the sparkling diamond chains, luxury exotic fleets, and endless bottles of champagne, a dark, suffocating financial storm was quietly brewing behind closed doors. Following a string of commercially underperforming album releases, high overhead luxury maintenance costs, and grueling legal disputes, rumors began circulating within Georgia real estate circles that the Promised Land was drowning in millions of dollars of unpaid county taxes, municipal utility liens, and balloon mortgage defaults. Insiders whispered that the property was bleeding nearly $500,000 every single month just to keep the lights on and the massive grounds maintained. While Rick Ross attempted to project an image of untouchable prosperity across social media, 50 Cent was quietly lurking in the shadows, waiting for the exact moment when the armor would finally crack. 50 Cent didn't want to beat Ross on a diss track. He wanted total, absolute financial and psychological destruction. Utilizing his massive corporate investment network and elite financial attorneys, 50 Cent had been quietly monitoring the Georgia public property registries for months. The second the county clerk issued a formal notice of foreclosure default on the estate, 50 Cent pounced. He didn't just buy the debt quietly. He planned a ruthless public spectacle that would broadcast the complete dismantling of Rick Ross's entire legacy live to the world. To see the massive scale and luxury features of this legendary Georgia compound that sparked this entire rivalry, check out the Rick Ross Promised Land Mansion tour. This video provides an inside look at the 54,000 square foot estate and grounds discussed in this breakdown. The explosion detonated yesterday evening when 50 Cent suddenly launched an unscheduled, emergency live stream titled under maximum disrespect, The Real Boss Closing Deal. The scene was framed with chilling, corporate precision. 50 Cent appeared on camera sitting inside a glass-walled conference room in New York City, flanked by high-powered real estate attorneys, a certified notary public, and digital monitors broadcasting the live Georgia County auction portal. 50 Cent wore a tailored designer suit, popping a bottle of vintage champagne, laughing uncontrollably as the digital countdown timer on the auction screen ticked down to 0. With over 600,000 viewers flooding the live stream, 50 Cent slammed his hand on the desk as the gavel dropped, holding up a certified county deed transfer document directly to the camera. It's over. It is officially over for the big boy. Look at this paper right here. Paid in full, cash wire transfer. Rick Ross is officially an unauthorized squatter in my new house. You was out here calling yourself the biggest boss, but you couldn't even pay the property taxes on the promised land. I bought your whole life for pennies on the dollar. Pack your bags, take them buffaloes off my grass, and get out. Next week, the promised land is going on Airbnb, $500 a night. You can sleep in Ross's master bedroom. The disrespect was so raw, so calculated, and so public that the entire chat froze in disbelief before exploding at thousands of messages per second. 50 Cent didn't just claim he bought the estate. His legal counsel shared the stream screen to show the foreclosed tax parcel identification numbers, the bank default filings, and the corporate entity name linked directly to 50 Cent's investment firm. Then came the first catastrophic twist that turned this financial humiliation into an active, high-stakes emergency. Within 45 minutes of the stream ending, leaked security footage surfaced across private Telegram channels showing local Georgia sheriff deputy cruisers pulling up to the main entrance gates of the Fayetteville estate. The leaked video showed officers affixing an official 24-hour notice of eviction and property vacancy directly across the iconic iron gates of the promised land. The paper trail was undeniable. The foreclosure was authentic. The deed had officially transferred, and Rick Ross was legally ordered to vacate the premises by midnight tomorrow. The revelation that the most iconic mansion in hip-hop history was lost to a mortal enemy in a public foreclosure auction sent social media into total anarchy. Hashtags like hashtag 50 Cent bought the mansion, hashtag Rick Ross evicted, and hashtag Promised Land Airbnb exploded to the #1 trending spots worldwide, as millions realized that Rick Ross's entire empire had just suffered the most fatal blow in modern culture. If 50 Cent genuinely believed Rick Ross would quietly throw his luxury belongings into moving vans and disappear into the night without a fight, he severely underestimated the explosive, volatile pride of the Maybach Music Group founder. Rick Ross has built a 20-year career on being untouchable, and being publicly humiliated in front of millions triggered an immediate, unhinged counterstrike. At 1:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Rick Ross launched a frantic, emergency broadcast directly from what appeared to be the dimly lit lower wine cellar of the Fayetteville estate. The atmosphere was thick with chaotic energy. Ross appeared on camera visibly agitated, sweat glistening across his forehead, clutching a half-empty bottle of Bel Air as his voice fluctuated between raw fury and unmistakable panic. Staring directly into the phone screen, Ross unleashed a furious, non-stop tirade attempting to downplay the auction documents. Curtis is lying to the entire world. Don't believe a word coming out of that internet clown's mouth. That stream was staged. That auction was fraudulent. The promised land belongs to William Roberts. I built this empire with my own blood, sweat, and tears. You can't buy out the biggest boss. My high-powered legal team is already on an emergency line with the Georgia Supreme Court and county registrars. The bank committed a massive administrative error, and Curtis is running a corporate smear campaign because his own TV shows are drying up. I am sitting right here in my house. The lights are on, the gates are locked, and nobody is removing me from my palace. Despite Ross's aggressive shouting, viewers across social media immediately noticed alarming details in the background of the video. Moving boxes were stacked along the walls, security personnel were spotted carrying heavy equipment bags past the doorway, and the unmistakable sound of automated perimeter alarms echoed faintly through the mansion's intercom system. Ross was trying to project supreme confidence, but the visual evidence told a story of pure panic. Then came the second, mind-blowing twist that transformed this real estate dispute into an existential financial catastrophe for the entire MMG enterprise. At 3:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, an explosive internal memorandum from a major national commercial banking syndicate was leaked on top-tier financial blogs and private investor forums. The leaked documents revealed that the foreclosure of the Promised Land estate had triggered an automatic, catastrophic cross-default clause across Rick Ross's entire corporate portfolio. Because the $100 million Fayetteville compound served as the primary collateral guaranteeing multi-million-dollar lines of credit for Maybach Music Group's distribution partnerships, independent restaurant franchises, and private aviation leases, the loss of the deed resulted in the immediate, automated freezing of Ross's operational bank accounts. The consequences were instantaneous and devastating. By sunrise, reports surfaced that several prominent MMG artists and management executives were holding emergency closed-door meetings with contract lawyers, desperately looking for legal exit clauses before label assets were frozen by court-appointed receivers. 50 Cent capitalized on the panic with ruthless efficiency. Taking to his social media pages, 50 Cent posted a mock digital promotional flyer featuring an aerial shot of the estate's massive 350,000-gallon swimming pool, complete with a fake Airbnb booking link and a caption that sent the internet into hysterics. Bookings open Monday morning. $500 a night. Free continental breakfast served by former bosses. Leave your luxury car keys at the front desk for complimentary valet parking. The entire hip-hop industry was left completely paralyzed, watching what appeared to be the definitive, real-time collapse of one of the most dominant luxury brands in rap history. The digital earthquake triggered by 50 Cent's live broadcast purchase of the Promised Land completely severed the entertainment industry in half, setting off an inferno of debates across X, TikTok, YouTube, and mainstream morning news networks. Within hours of the deed transfer certificates going viral, social media was inundated with tens of millions of views, hilarious viral memes, and intense investigative breakdown videos. For the vast majority of hip-hop commentators, 50 Cent's execution was viewed as the most ruthlessly brilliant checkmate move in the history of rap rivalries. At hiphopfinances_2026, 50 Cent just pulled off the greatest financial assassination in human history. Buying your mortal enemy's $100 million mega mansion straight off a county foreclosure auction and turning it into an Airbnb is a tier of petty that will never be topped. The boss persona is officially dead and buried. At CultureWatch_daily, Rick Ross spent 20 years rapping about having unlimited cartel money, flying private jets, and being untouchable, only to get evicted by 50 Cent on a live stream because he missed property tax deadlines. You literally cannot write a more humiliating script than this. At GeorgiaRealEstate_guru, those Fayette County public property records are 100% legitimate. Curtis Jackson's corporate holding entity is now the deeded owner on file. Ross's lawyers can file all the emergency restraining orders they want, but legally, he's sitting in 50 Cent's living room. At UrbanMedia_unfiltered, this isn't just an internet beef anymore. 50 Cent systematically dismantled the Maybach Music Group brand in 90 minutes. The psychological damage of losing your crown jewel estate to the man who spent 15 years trolling you is irreversible. However, on the other side of the digital war, an impassioned faction of Rick Ross loyalists, Southern hip-hop pioneers, and corporate civil rights advocates pushed back aggressively. This camp argued that 50 Cent's predatory acquisition was an unethical, malicious display of corporate greed designed to humiliate a fellow black mogul and dismantle generational wealth purely for digital clout. At MMG_forever_boss, 50 Cent is a certified corporate predator. Exploiting an administrative bank error and predatory municipal tax liens just to publicly embarrass a black man who built a global empire from the dirt is sickening. Rosie survived every attack thrown at him, and he will bounce back from this. At Southern Rap Pioneer, the culture shouldn't be celebrating this. Seeing a historic 235-acre black-owned estate get snatched through corporate loopholes and predatory financing is a tragedy, regardless of who bought it. 50 took it way too far this time, and the streets will remember. At RealEstateEquity_now, Tax deed sales and municipal foreclosures are frequently contested due to predatory lender practices. If Ross's legal team proves improper notification from the county, this sale gets thrown out in federal court. Don't count Ross out just yet. The controversy reached an explosive boiling point on major nationally syndicated radio broadcasts, including The Breakfast Club and Hot 97. Radio hosts held emergency call-in segments that quickly devolved into chaotic screaming matches between callers from Atlanta, New York, and Miami. Prominent business analysts and real estate lawyers called into the shows, dissecting the devastating ripple effect this foreclosure would have on Maybach Music Group's ongoing commercial distribution deals, beverage endorsements, and franchise licensing agreements. Meanwhile, physical chaos erupted outside the Fayetteville compound itself. Overnight, local law enforcement had to dispatch additional patrol units to manage the massive traffic jams clogging the county roads outside the Promised Land gates. Hundreds of content creators, vloggers, and tourists swarmed the perimeter, live streaming TikToks and taking selfies in front of the locked iron gates where the bright yellow eviction notices fluttered in the wind. To make matters even more volatile, 50 Cent kept the pressure cooker boiling on Instagram. He began posting mock guest reviews from fictional Airbnb customers, complaining about poor Wi-Fi in the North Wing, and joking about finding half-empty bottles of Belaire behind the sofa cushions. The entire hip-hop ecosystem was on edge, perfectly divided between sheer amusement and profound disbelief, waiting for the final shoe to drop in what had become an unprecedented corporate street war. Just when the world believed 50 Cent had achieved the ultimate, unchallengeable checkmate over Rick Ross, a final, mind-blowing twist emerged from behind closed courtroom doors that threatens to throw this entire billionaire feud into absolute legal and physical chaos. At 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, emergency federal filings were officially lodged in the United States District Court for the Northern District of Georgia by an elite task force of bankruptcy and corporate defense attorneys representing Rick Ross. The emergency filing contained an explosive, multi-page allegation. Ross's legal team claims that the entire county foreclosure auction was illegally manipulated through predatory insider bidding, fraudulent notice violations, and unauthorized corporate coordination between municipal tax collection representatives and 50 Cent's private holding companies. Ross's attorneys didn't just ask for a routine review. They filed an immediate emergency injunction to void the deed transfer, freeze 50 Cent's short-term rental operating permits, and open a formal federal inquiry into the financial syndicate that orchestrated the auction. However, sources close to 50 Cent's camp dropped an even bigger, far more dangerous bombshell, claiming that 50 Cent's private executive protection firm had already assumed physical possession of the compound's outer security stations and perimeter gates under a court-issued writ of assistance. According to leaked flight logs circulating on aviation tracking forums, 50 Cent's private helicopter was cleared for immediate flight routing directly toward the Fayetteville property's private helipad, with reports indicating Curtis Jackson intends to personally land on the grounds to oversee the full removal of all remaining MMG assets live on camera. With armed private security teams currently stationed on opposite sides of the estate's main perimeter, a federal judge reviewing an emergency motion to block the takeover, and 50 Cent en route to the property, the scene outside the Promised Land has transformed into a high-stakes standoff. Will the federal court step in and freeze the transfer to save Rick Ross's empire at the final hour, or will 50 Cent touch down on the helipad to execute the most ruthless property takeover in entertainment history? The battle lines are drawn, the entire hip-hop industry is on high alert, and the next 24 hours will decide who truly owns the Promised Land. This has been without a doubt the most insane, cold-blooded, and historic financial war we have ever covered on this channel. Now, I want to hear directly from you, the realest, most informed community on YouTube. Did 50 Cent execute the ultimate executive checkmate by claiming he bought Rick Ross's foreclosed mega mansion? Or did he take petty trolling way too far by turning the Promised Land into an Airbnb joke? Do you believe Rick Ross's empire is truly on the brink of financial collapse? Or is the biggest boss about to shut down the rumors and bounce back harder than ever? Who do you think will actually be holding the keys to that 235-acre Fayetteville estate when this legal showdown finally concludes? Drop your wildest theories, legal predictions, and reactions in the comments section down below right now. I am going to be down in the comment section replying to the best and most intense responses all day long. If your mind was completely blown by this emergency breakdown, smash that like button immediately. It helps the algorithm push this crazy update to hip-hop fans all across the globe. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell right now. We are tracking this high-stakes standoff live as it unfolds, and the second that helicopter touches down in Georgia, or the moment the federal judge rules on Ross's emergency injunction, we will be dropping an exclusive emergency follow-up video that you cannot afford to miss. Thank you for watching, stay locked in, and I will see you in the very next video.